r/askreddit by Reddify. Men of Reddit. What's the most pathetic/ridiculous thing another man has done in attempt to assert his dominance over you? Had a dude get mad at me for talking to his girl all the time. I was her econ tutor. A guy was mad at me while sitting at a light and was revving his engine. It sounded like he held it at the red line. And there was a big crack sound and smoke started coming out of the front of his car. The dummy blew his engine. Was on a 4-hour flight. In a 2-person row. The guy demanded to have full access to the middle armrest. Would push my arm off it if I ever got near it. I was standing in the breezeway outside a friend's apartment while in college. And a guy coming down the stairs from an upper floor kinda tripped near the bottom of the stairs and stumbled into me. It was clear he super drunk and immediately got aggressive. He was so worked up about being tougher than me for some reason that he started doing push-ups at me while me and my friends just laughed. Fortunately his friends came and apologized and took him back upstairs. But it was definitely the most bizarre assertion of dominance I've ever encountered. We once had a candidate come into the interview and legit say he wanted to sit behind the desk because he was going to be asking the questions to decide if he wanted to work with us. I think he'd gotten some bad advice about having confidence. I laughed but our manager flipped her shit. The only time I have ever seen her call security. When asked about what his hobbies are, he responded with hobbies are for children and single women. I work. Not letting go of a handshake. It's happened a few times and always make me wanna treat it as a hostile action. Last time it happened I just started caressing their hand with my finger and the guy jerked away. I winked at him after. Edit. Thanks for the silver and all the make it sexually awkward _suggestions strangers. Literally last weekend some really drunk dude who I had never once met or interacted with tried to fight me to impress the girls he was with. It was completely ridiculous. And his way of trying to initiate it was just repeatedly body checking me on the dance floor, which I ignored because I thought he was just being drunk and dumb. Turns out one of his friends had to stop him from blindsiding me with a sucker punch to the face, assuming he was able to aim that well. Some people do not mix well with alcohol apparently. Threatened to beat me up if I so much as look at his girlfriend again. His girlfriend was my sister. I maintained eye contact whilst laughing as she dumped him on the spot. I was walking to my car after school and this guy getting in his car just yells at me, "You ugly F." Bro. I flipped him off without even looking at him and he yelled bitch and drove off. How petty do you have to be to tell someone minding their own business that they're ugly? I used to tend bar in Milwaukee and there is nothing that triggers self-conscious sweetness more than beer. I cannot tell you how many arguments began with some dude, always unsolicited/unprovoked. Mind you, feeling compelled to judge and educate other guys about the beer they're drinking or not drinking. You drink *THAT* piss. You pussy? And it goes downhill from there. No one cares. Drink what you like and shut up. Generally guys purposely bumping into you when you walk past them, especially if they're with friends. In junior high I remember this one bully that would get on his tiptoes and bow out his chest like a gorilla and get all in your face whenever he felt threatened. It was such a funny stereotype maneuver. I work in a grocery store and sometimes help unload the delivery trucks, and our delivery comes in on what we call cages. Like a 6-foot cage on wheels, and obviously one that's full of toilet paper will be really light and one filled with 2-liter bottles of juice are the heavy ones. The lift that lowers them from the truck has that patent metal floor and you have to pull the heavy cages hard to get them off. Now I'm 5 feet 8 inches and don't have a lot of weight on me, but I can pull these cages off just fine. But there's a guy who's like 6 feet 2 inches and is always trying to show how strong he is. So whenever I'm helping and he's there, he always insists he gets the heavy cages and that I get the little guy cages. Everyone agrees he needs to grow up. Playing a game of pool at a bar for a beer. Dude missed an easy shot and broke the cue stick on his knee. He then gets in my face to try to intimidate me. I just simple tell him, "Look dude, you are at a locals bar." He shut up and left after that. Dummy. Edit. Yep, most of you are correct. Locals bar meant we all knew each other and had everyone's back. Only time I've had to use that line. Honestly was looking out for this dude more than anything. Did not want to see him get his ass kicked and any of us go to jail that night. A former coworker. He would just stand in the way and refuse to move. Even if he wasn't in the way, he would purposely get in the way. I work in a narrow kitchen, so you can imagine how annoying that could be. At one particular moment I was carrying a bulky 20 pounds box and he decided to do that. I pretended to not see him and barreled into him. He fell over and got incredibly mad at me. Started talking about how I have no muscle. It was pretty funny. It was a display of the most fragile masculinity I've ever seen. Talked about the MBA program at his alma mater was superior to where I was getting my MBA. For clarification, he doesn't have and isn't working on an MBA, but wanted to be sure I knew he was better because he went to a school with a perceived better program. A friend tried to make himself look good in front of his crush by literally putting me in a random chokehold for a laugh. Turns out it was because I was talking to her. I had a girlfriend at the time. We were just talking. It wasn't a chokehold though. It was basically just a headlock. So I decided to correct him. I was fairly oblivious and didn't realize this was a failed alpha move. Creeped the shit out of his crush that he would do that out of nowhere, and she stopped talking to him. Apparently she quite liked him up until that point. So he kinda shot himself in the foot. One time at a house party, a few of us were talking to some of the girls there, and one of the guys randomly started talking about how he does MMA. Then another guy joined in, and those two started wrestling in front of the girls. I don't think their shirts needed to come off either, but what the fuck do I know? This happened over D&D when my friend, who owns a store, let these guys we didn't know that well to join our campaign. I don't know why. Out of the table got singled out, but a girl walks in and this guy complained that I didn't order pizza for him. Said how about you go fuck yourself when I asked him if he wanted some. Walked over behind me and playfully puts his arms around my neck. I told him I'd punch him in the face if he did it one more time because I don't know who the fuck he is. Absolutely ruined my day. I worked in resident life over the summer at a moderately sized college campus. The pay was good, but there were tons of broken furniture and even more plus-stained mattresses. Anyway, I was good enough at doing this that I became sort of an on-site supervisor. The supervisor would tell us what building we would be evaluating/emptying that day, and then I would basically take over as soon as we left. One day, we had a 5-story dorm to go through, and all of the mattresses were due to be replaced. I told the group, there were 7 or 8 of us, that the easiest way would be to form a relay down the stairs. 2 people would go to the rooms on the topmost floor and toss them down the steps to the next level. And then they would toss those down the steps all the way down until the last 2 people on the bottom would put the mattresses in the truck. And then, every floor, we'd swap off. So people could have the easier jobs. We are moving along ridiculously fast under this system. We cleared out a whole floor in just under an hour. And then the supervisor showed up and told me that no, everyone needed to carry out their own mattresses because he didn't want lazy people on the team. In other words, he wanted everyone to go to a room on the 5th floor and carry a mattress down 5 flights of stairs to the truck. All through the day, he told us that it was an easy job and then proceeded to make a show of lifting up 2 mattresses on his shoulders and jumping down the half-flight steps onto the landing. He did this 2 or 3 times, complete with loud grunts. To this day, I have no idea how he didn't get injured, and then berated us for being lazy. He didn't make us jump, but he made sure that he stayed to watch us do it the right way. We finished the next floor by the end of the day. Edit, I'm getting these questions, so I'll clarify here. The quicker we moved, the better. On this campus, and I suspect many others, colleges make money over the summer by hosting summer camps. Residence life, housekeeping and telecom all have to move in a particular order through the dorms in a particular fashion and adhere to a very tight calendar. This building, in particular, would have had housekeeping come by the next afternoon. And I think the dorm was supposed to be open to summer camp. The overly firm handshake is always annoying. I'm not a freak show of strength, but I have a good enough grip that I can get them to back off.